headlines of this hour on VTV News. Party chief commends Da Nang's remarkable progress and development. In Vietnam to push investment and capital market development towards 8% growth target. In our world news, according to WHO, Gaza population is living in unrelenting nightmare.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello, it's 3 p.m. local time and you're watching VTV News. I'm Huyền Trân with the top stories. As celebrations marking the 95th founding anniversary of the Da Nang City Party Committee and the 50th anniversary of the city's liberation, Party General Secretary Tô Lâm highlighted the significant achievements of the city's party committee, local authority, and people across different historical periods. Building on these accomplishments, the party chief called on the locality to make effective use of special mechanisms and focus investments on developing a regional financial center and free trade zone. During the ceremony, the Party General Secretary awarded the first-class labor order to the Da Nang Party Committee, local authority, and people for their contributions to national construction and defense. Now, on this day 50 years ago, March 29, 1975, Da Nang and its surrounding areas were liberated. The victory paved the way for the Vietnamese military and people to launch the final decisive battle, leading to the complete liberation of southern Vietnam and the reunification of the country. And for people who took part in the Da Nang liberation campaign, the vibrant spirit of those historic March days remains deeply etched into their memories.
As part of the army that marched into Da Nang for its liberation, Le Viet Nam still vividly remembers the historic moment when Vietnamese troops took full control of the Nuc Mon Air Base. For him, participating in the city's liberation was a great honor as a battlefield soldier.
Back then, we were all extremely enthusiastic, unafraid of hardships or sacrifices. We strictly followed our superiors' orders, advancing swiftly with the determination to liberate our homeland Da Nang, even if it meant laying down our lives.
At exactly 11:30 a.m. on March 29, 1975, the flag of the National Liberation Front of South Vietnam was raised atop the City Hall. By 5 p.m. that same day, Da Nang and its surrounding areas were completely liberated. Veteran Le Ngoc Bai, the battalion commander who led the assault on City Hall, vividly recalls the images and emotions of that historic moment.
Following our superiors' orders, we had to strike swiftly, seize the target immediately, and act fast to minimize bloodshed. It took us just 45 minutes to advance from Suc Village, Dien Thang intersection, to the City Hall. We raised the flag within only 50 minutes.
The regular army alone could not have achieved liberation in just 3 days. It was the people's uprising that created overwhelming psychological pressure, while the offensive by our main forces dominated militarily. This combination enabled us to liberate Da Nang in just 3 days.
The liberation of Da Nang dismantled the enemy's strategic defense system in central Vietnam. This victory created the opportunity for Vietnam's military and people to launch their final decisive battle, ultimately leading to the complete liberation of the South and the country's reunification.
During a state banquet for Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva's official visit to Vietnam, State President Lương Cường emphasized the strong ties between the two nations. He expressed confidence that both countries would continue to strengthen and expand their cooperation in the future through increased trade, easier travel, and greater embrace of Brazil's distinctive cultural values in Vietnam. President Lula da Silva reaffirmed that, despite their geographic distance, both nations share essential values that will continue to unite them. As of Saturday morning, Friday's earthquake in Myanmar has left 694 people dead and 1,600 injured, according to the country's military government. The death toll is expected to rise as many people remain trapped in the rubble. In Thailand, at least 10 workers died when a 30-story building under construction collapsed in Bangkok, with 101 people still missing. Urgent recovery work continues in both countries.
Rescue efforts in Myanmar face major challenges due to damaged roads and widespread communication outages. The military government has called for urgent blood donations as hospitals struggle with an influx of injured patients.
I urge our people to support our rescue efforts, as we need to conduct widespread rescue operations. I have declared a state of emergency in all affected regions and opened our country to international assistance.
The international community has swiftly responded to Myanmar's devastating earthquake. The government accepted humanitarian aid from ASEAN, while the UN allocated $5 million in emergency funds, and WHO mobilized medical supplies. China pledged urgent assistance, and Russia dispatched 2 planes with rescue workers. The European Commission President also affirmed the EU's readiness to provide support. Meanwhile, in Thailand, around 100 rescue workers worked through the night searching for survivors in the rubble of a collapsed 30-story building.
We are doing our best with the resources we have because every life matters. Our priority is to act as quickly as possible to save everyone. The Prime Minister has ordered all sectors to support each other.
Bangkok authorities have decided to keep public parks open overnight for residents unable to stay indoors. They have also established an emergency response system allowing people to report damages and request assistance.
Now, as reported, rescue operations are proceeding urgently in both Myanmar and Thailand. Currently, no Vietnamese casualties have been reported in either Myanmar or Thailand. But our reporter was able to contact a Vietnamese national in Mandalay, Myanmar, the area that sustained the most damage.
So far, there have been around 8 to 10 mild to moderate tremors. After the earthquake, many high-rise buildings, residential houses, and apartments almost completely collapsed. It is unclear how many people are trapped inside. Currently, internet services are down, with only MyTel by Viettel and a few other providers remaining operational. The city has lost power and water, making it extremely difficult for people to access information. The Vietnamese community in Mandalay is helping by distributing food and water and searching for earthquake victims. The Vietnamese nationals here are safe, and we are able to maintain contact to provide updates on the situation and support when needed.
The earthquake in central Myanmar not only caused tremors in Bangkok, but also affected many other areas in Thailand. In Chiang Mai, 2 aftershocks forced the airport to halt operations for about an hour and led to widespread power outages. We reached out to a Vietnamese national in Chiang Mai to get an update on the situation.
I was sitting in my room when suddenly the floor started to move. At first, I didn't understand what was happening, but then I realized the building might be collapsing, so I didn't grab anything and ran down to the 7th floor. I just wanted to get out of the building before it collapsed. After that, people started coming down and gathering in the front yard of the building. Everyone said we should wait for about 10 to 15 minutes for the aftershocks to pass before going back to our rooms. Because of the earthquake, the power in the building was cut. I heard some Thai people here saying that in the past 10 years, they've experienced around 4 earthquakes, but the previous ones were very mild. This was the strongest one. The Thai government has said there might be another earthquake within the next 24 hours, so I am very worried. I've started packing my belongings and moved down to the lobby to work. Right now, everything seems to have returned to normal, and no one has been injured here. But people are still very scared. In the future, I think I'll need to check for any earthquake warnings wherever I go, so I can be prepared.
Có lẽ là trong tương lai thì ở đâu đó thì em phải kiểm tra để em có sự đề phòng.
Coming up next on VTV News. Vietnam to push investment and capital market development towards 8% growth target. And over 3,000 police officers participate in rehearsal for 50th anniversary of Southern Liberation. Welcome back to VTV News. The party and the government have set an ambitious target of achieving over 8% economic growth in 2025. And to realize this goal, alongside streamlining administrative procedures, the Ministry of Finance is focusing on mobilizing domestic and foreign capital, including investment funds and foreign direct investment (FDI). The Ministry of Finance held the conference on investment funds and foreign investment in the new development era on Friday to discuss solutions for reaching this goal.
Vietnam's realized FDI in 2024 reached $25.4 billion USD, the highest level ever recorded. This inflow has contributed to Vietnam's 7% GDP growth and elevated the country to become the world's 33rd largest economy. However, significant challenges remain in Vietnam's capital market development. A Vina Capital representative emphasized that establishing more professional investment funds and shifting from experimenting with the stock market to investing in the stock market is crucial for sustainable growth.
Professional investment funds carry lower risks and offer higher long-term returns. Moreover, developing the private sector requires long-term capital from investment funds.
Vietnam aims to increase total mobilized investment to approximately $174 billion in 2025, with private sector investment accounting for $96 billion.
Tax policies should encourage long-term investments, offering incentives to investors who hold their assets for 1, 2, or 3 years to promote sustainable growth.
The primary focus should be on reducing administrative procedures and accelerating digital transformation to improve efficiency and lower costs. We need to adjust investment limits for funds to align with Vietnam's market conditions.
The Ministry of Finance highlighted significant growth potential in Vietnam's fund management sector, noting that total assets under management currently represent only 6% of GDP, well below regional averages. Drawing from the conference's insights and recommendations, the ministry will implement measures to expand investment funds, attract both domestic and foreign capital.
Now, since the establishment of its agricultural cooperative, Buôn Cho Á has transformed from a remote, disadvantaged commune into a thriving community. The cooperative's focus on high-yield specialty rice varieties has significantly improved local livelihoods. Today, Buôn Cho Á commune has emerged as a key production hub for specialty rice in Đắk Nông province.
The idea of building wealth through rice farming once seemed impossible for Buôn Cho farmers. This changed when Krông Ngo district authorities introduced ST24 and ST25 rice varieties to replace older, less productive strains. These new varieties have achieved impressive average yields of 11 to 12 tons per hectare.
The new rice variety, introduced initially, had dark grains and produced both tall and short stalks. By the second year, after it had adapted to local conditions, we were able to cultivate it in a more concentrated area and harvest it in the same manner. Buyers began sourcing fresh rice directly from our fields.
We have supported the cooperative in developing the Krông Ngo rice brand, with a focus on ST24 and ST25 rice grown in Buôn Cho Á. This has helped farmers increase their income and establish a strong production network to strengthen the brand.
Through specialty rice cultivation, farmers' incomes have increased significantly, reaching up to $5,900 per hectare. The farmers have also expanded their production networks and implemented Viet-Gap-compliant farming practices.
The cooperative's goal is to see Buon Chua rice valued appropriately. Instead of selling wholesale at $1.09 per kilogram, we aim to reach prices above $1.17 to sustain the production process.
Buon Chua rice has already made its way into major supermarket chains nationwide. To further enhance the value of its specialty rice, the cooperative plans to continue developing and protecting its brand.
More than 3,000 officers and soldiers from various police units participated in a joint rehearsal Saturday morning to prepare for the 50th anniversary celebration of the Southern Liberation and National Reunification. The rehearsal was held at the Training and Professional Development Center No. 2 in Long Thanh District, Đồng Nai Province. A highlight of the rehearsal was the Mounted Police Unit from the Mobile Police Department, featuring 63 horses arranged in multiple rows. The horses, each weighing between 300 and 400 kilograms, were fitted with full-body protective gear. And this is also their first time participating in the combined rehearsal of the police forces parade and march. And this segment of the training is considered challenging, as officers must work with horses to ensure perfect formation. Vũ Thị Dung and her 3 children in Sóc Sơn, Hà Nội had to bid farewell to their husband and father after he tragically passed away in a traffic accident. She sought his permission to donate his organs to help save others. And although they said goodbye, it's not the final farewell, as his heart will continue to beat, offering hope to other patients.
Since their father passed away, Dũng took on the responsibility of picking up and dropping off his younger siblings, while Ha went to the market and cooked. These were tasks their father used to do when he was alive. Now that he's gone, the 2 siblings want to help their mother. Dũng and Ha want their mother to feel that their father is still always with the 4 of them.
Every time Dad came home, he would cook for the whole family. Now that he's gone, I will try my best to carry out his duties.
On the first week of anniversary of the memorial for their father, it was also the day the family received the news that the 2 patients who received his heart and liver had regained consciousness and were recovering well.
Before he passed away, I told him that this was a noble act of saving lives, and he agreed to donate his organs.
The small house will be without the presence of the pillar of the family from today. However, there will always be a strong emotional support for the mother and her 3 children.
Dad wanted me to study carefully so that I could have a good life in the future. I will try my best to work hard to make that happen.
The person who has passed away is a source of pride and motivation for the mother and her 3 children to continue living each day.
On March 28th, Phú Quốc National Park in Kiên Giang Province hosted a ceremony to honor 6 exceptional trees as Vietnam heritage trees. And among the trees recognized, one is a southern chai tree, also known as ironwood or tambusu, a large evergreen native to Southeast Asia, estimated to be around 700 years old. Another southern chai tree is over 600 years old. These ancient naturally grown trees are of great scientific, economic, environmental, cultural, and historical significance, as well as offering potential for tourism. They also serve as green symbols of the protection of island sovereignty, tied closely to the history of exploration and development on the Phú Quốc Islands. In our upcoming stories, according to WHO, Gaza population is living in unrelenting nightmare. And European airlines warn of looming SAF supply crisis. Now moving on to our world news, a World Health Organization WHO representative in the occupied Palestinian territory stated that the people of Gaza are living in an unrelenting nightmare as food, water, shelter, and medical supplies, as well as hope, continue to dwindle, along with the population's ability to cope and survive. The WHO warned that the situation is worsening due to the ongoing blockade on aid since March 2nd and the resumption of airstrikes. The representative cautioned that forced displacement orders are putting lives at risk and have left hundreds of thousands without homes or access to basic necessities. Additionally, more than half of Gaza's hospitals are operating with bed occupancy rates exceeding 80%. And there is a critical need to replenish trauma care supplies, such as intravenous fluids and antibiotics. Meanwhile, Gaza blood banks currently have fewer than 500 units available, while an estimated 4,500 units are needed each month to meet the needs of the growing number of casualties. 17 major European airlines have urged the EU to reconsider its aviation greening targets due to the cost and scarcity of green fuels. The EU mandates airlines to incorporate 2% sustainable aviation fuel, or SAF, into their fuel mix by 2025, rising to 6% by 2030 and 70% by 2050. SAF, derived from used cooking oil, agricultural waste, municipal waste, and certain algae, is expected to contribute 65% of the emissions reduction needed for net zero carbon by 2050. However, a recent survey by the European Airlines Association, representing 17 carriers, indicates that by 2030, SAF production will meet only 70% of the required supply to achieve the 6% blend target. The fuel's scarcity and high costs threaten airline competitiveness, making the 2030 sustainability goal increasingly unachievable. A high school in Rennes, France has introduced bike desks that allow students to stay active during lessons, reduce prolonged sitting, and enhance concentration. At Anita Conti High School, these specialized desks have been installed in classrooms and the library, letting students pedal quietly while focusing on their studies. The initiative, backed by the Parents Association and Regional Health Authority, has provided approximately 20 bike desks. Additionally, the school promotes physical activity by encouraging students to take 5 to 10-minute walks between classes. The 5th Balade en France and Francophonie Festival 2025 officially kicked off on Friday at Thống Nhất Park in Hanoi. The event celebrates the cultural diversity and exchange among the Francophone nations through vibrant cultural and culinary experiences. For those seeking weekend activities, the festival provides an exciting opportunity to explore French culture and cuisine.
The festival's main attraction is its culinary and cultural experience zone, with 80 booths offering signature dishes from France and Francophone countries, including baguettes, cheese, cured meats, chocolate, and wine.
I love French cuisine, and I'm thrilled to be here today to taste these dishes. I hope there will be more events like this, giving us more options for weekend activities.
The festival has attracted not only Vietnamese locals, but also French nationals living in Hanoi. For many, it's a chance to reconnect with old friends and relive familiar cultural traditions.
This festival's layout is fascinatingly similar to those in France. They offer a wide range of our familiar food items such as macarons, wine, and butter. This is a nice change of pace for us French living in Vietnam.
I'm grateful for events like this. It allows those of us who studied in France to reunite, reminisce about our time there, and enjoy French music, food, and wine. I hope to visit France again someday.
A dedicated fair provides students with information about scholarships, French language courses, and career opportunities in French-speaking countries and Vietnam.
This year, we've expanded the festival to include more Francophone countries, not just France. We want to showcase the cultural diversity of the Francophone community and highlight the benefits of learning French. This will give young people more opportunities to study in Francophone countries. Education has always been a priority in the cooperation between Vietnam and the Francophone community.
Beyond culinary and educational experiences, the festival also features a Francophone marathon and artistic performances by Vietnamese and Francophone artists.
Following the success of previous concerts, 3 major music events recently drew thousands of attendees to Ho Chi Minh City. Fans complemented these concerts with an unprecedented series of support activities for the artist. This growing trend demonstrates both the entertainment and live performance industry's growing momentum and untapped potential.
Sponsoring advertisements in public areas, promoting event information on international news outlets, organizing charitable projects. Through these professional and large-scale promotional methods, Vietnamese fan communities are helping elevate their favorite local artists' presence, both at home and abroad.
We believe that an artist's success is also driven by the organized support of their fans.
As a fan, I want to spread positivity, do good, and contribute meaningful things to society.
Over the past year, successful large-scale, high-quality music events have drawn growing fan bases for artists. These fan communities have created a thriving ecosystem of fan gatherings, concerts, merchandise sales, and brand sponsorships.
Most products need to be manufactured before they can be sold, but cultural products can generate revenue even before production begins. When investors see potential, they naturally compete with one another.
Fan love and support challenge both artists and production teams to continuously improve the quality of their work.
It gives me the confidence to perform and release new music.
It drives me to be more determined, improve myself, and create better work for my audience.
From a producer's perspective, our top priority is to continuously refine our content and production quality to deliver the best and most unique experience for our audience.
Vietnamese audiences' love for local artists acts as both motivation and responsibility. This enthusiasm drives the growth of the performing arts and cultural industries. Since early March alone, more than 10 large-scale events have drawn thousands of spectators each night.
And as usual, let's move on to the weather forecast. And that's all the news we have for this hour. To rewatch our program, you can download our mobile app VTVgo or check out our YouTube channel VTV4Go. Thank you for watching and see you next time.